questions?
Why are we then able to receive the initiation so soon? Like we haven't spent 20 years with you, for example.
That's a good question. So when Babaji sort of came on the scene, his first student was Lahiri Mahasaya, and if you've read Autobiography of a Yogi, you know who he is. And Lahiri Mahasaya asked Babaji to lift the stringent requirements because it was too hard for people in modern times. So Lahiri Mahasaya, that was the end of the 19th century, I think. And at that point, we didn't have the collective conditions that we used to have. And so people were engaged in their family life. I mean, Lahiri Mahasaya, where he had a full-time job, he had family, he was in the samsaric world quite a bit. And Babaji initiated him because of the depth of their karmic connection, their ancient connection. But then Lahiri Mahasaya said, people can't, live up to the traditional requirements for Kriya Yoga. Will you change that? Will you lift that? And so Babaji agreed, and things became easier and more accessible for us. And that's one of the beauties of spirituality, is that it's adaptable, it's flexible. It's not rigid, it's not locked. Our true nature is not rigid or locked, and the forms that spirituality takes should evolve with the times, should evolve with the cultural consciousness. Just as it's not, in my opinion, my Appa was a product of his, this is him. He was a product of his culture, but I would never feel right doing it like that, like sitting too high up above the other, but that was somehow right for his, because he was born in 1923, India was a different place. And so spirituality should evolve while we keep the essence, right? And there are certain things that protect the essence of spirituality, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday. Like the way we carry ourselves as spiritual warriors, the ways in which we avoid seduction by spiritual materialism, that we cut through the whole trip of like every other person is a spiritual guide now. That's such a trip. And then people get confused. They're like, oh yeah, I want spiritual guidance. Click Google, click spiritual guide, near me, return. And like it spits out 20,000 names and nobody knows what to accept and what to reject. Genuine spirituality has been diluted, right? And it's a problem because this specialness, the sacredness of this mandala, you will not find it. So please don't do that, any of you. Please don't do that. Okay? If you do that, you harm yourself, you harm other, and you harm genuine spiritual beings. So there are things that should shift, right? But there are things that we have to stay true to, and we have to know what to stay true to, and we have to know what to be flexible with. Okay? And so Babaji had the wisdom to know that if you require people, even my Appa, you had to do, in order to learn the second level initiation, which you received last year, in order to learn advanced initiation in Kriya Yoga, you had to do 8 hours of sadhana every day. 8 hours. You had to do 8 hours of sadhana, you had to work 8 hours, and then you got 8 hours for everything else. All right, good luck with that. And so I'm like, I'm not going to have those requirements, people that I work with. And I had my own conversation with the powers that be, and it's something that feels totally in alignment for me, you know. And so we have to know what to be flexible with, but we have to know what to be true to. Because if we go the route of spiritual materialism because we feel lost in our lives, we're looking for our own sense of purpose, and we've been brainwashed by the narcissism that's prevalent in modern society, then we lose. Like, then the teacher becomes further and further and further and further away from us. All three dimensions of the divine become more distant. And we lose the point of this whole thing. Right? So be impeccable with your integrity, be impeccable in cutting through spiritual materialism, be impeccable in not being seduced by it, okay? And be flexible in other ways, right?